as COVID-19 makes its way around the world. I'm in Calgary trying to get my parents organized for the event. It's an event. It is, of global proportions. But we know it's a manufactured virus. And it's being used as a bioweapon against the elderly. They're the target. And that is absolutely confirmed thus far. I spoke with my cousin in Italy this morning. He's in the Abruzzo area, a town called Mosciano. And they have been under lockdown since Saturday. A little earlier than the news reported. It was planned. He's an architect, and it was planned by his company. And then it became national. I asked him, do you know anybody with COVID-19? And he said, no, not a soul. In Italy, where there is a national quarantine, martial law. He said the word is that it's attacking the elderly. And he figures this could be 2 months. 2 months. In Canada and the United States, as of yesterday, we can no longer determine the areas of COVID-19 on the Johns Hopkins map. That information was being provided by Health Canada and the CDC in the United States. Australia is part of that as well. Now there's no regional breakdown because our governments aren't providing that information. Why is that? We've already got shortages here in the prairies and in Canada. No clear communication is coming forth. And right now, if I had a loved one in a care home, I'd be getting them the hell out now. If it is possible that you can do that, because they are going to be safer with you than in that care home. I know a lot of people say, well, you know, they would have died anyway because of a seasonal flu. In King County in Seattle, right now, the care home is sitting at a 17% mortality rate. That's not good. It's a lot higher for the seniors. So when you wipe the numbers across the population, they look like 3.4%. But when you put it in the category where it belongs, it's higher and much higher. Because we also know it's not attacking the children. You're going to need those kids for the green books. This is all about culling the past, burying the history. They don't want us to live this freedom that we've lived in the past. It's a detriment to the future. I know some people get turned off when you say the globalists and the elite, but it's the case. This global model does nothing for us citizens. In fact, it's done nothing for us but tear down our countries since they were introduced. Our manufacturing jobs in Canada, gone to the United States, gone to Mexico, gone to China. We've been socially programmed to believe that we need a population in Canada. And I find this hilarious because I keep saying, why? Well, in order to build our economy. But here's the thing. The global model Their idea is robotics for the future. And in fact, there won't be call for a lot of these specialized trades that we have of today. Even in medical, in so many areas, this is going to affect. And in fact, in Germany, they're already predicting 55% of the jobs gone in the next 10 years. 55%. As we see in Alberta right now, the tar sands is it's a mass exodus. People don't want to do business here, but what I see is it's being reorganized right now. This is a reorganization, nothing more. Yet I don't think we're going to like who is going to be jumping in here in the future, and that's going to be more of China. More envelopment in this global structure that is chipping and now taking deep slices into our quality of life, where us Canadians can't own a home where we grew up. Yet foreign investors are buying it up and creating an artificial bubble. Chinese investors, for the most part. And not just citizens, they're buying for corporations. There's more going on. As they buy swaths of neighborhood, what happens is then they have the power to rezone them. And this is how the smart cities will be created. This race for 5G is a race for mass surveillance. In China right now, there's an app you have to put into your phone, and it will give you a QR tag where they give you a tag where you are yellow, orange, or red. And that is either you have to be in a hospital, you are free to travel, or you're in quarantine, self-isolation. And it makes the ultimate determination and tells you where to go, and you must do it. We are racing to keep up with a country that harvests organs from dissidents. They do. 563-page report about it came out March 1st. But of course, in all the confusion, who knew? There is so much going on around right now, but we don't know about it because the media is being saturated with COVID-19. We're distracted. And this is where we need to get watching fast and figure out what's going on the ground. We know that Jason Kenney here in Alberta is closing parks, 22 of them, and outsourcing maintenance in others. This is a land reorganization. And this is where partisan makes no difference. This is all Agenda 2030. I heard the mayor of Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan, got a letter that told him he's going to be getting a hell of a lot of Somali immigrants because they're expanding a meat processing facility there. It's going to stink like high heaven not to be because of the meat processing. But the most disconcerting is the fact that the people of Moose Jaw were never given a say in the matter. We're not getting any say in this global model, even on a provincial level. And I am moving away from believing in Canada more and more every single day, the more I learn. We'll never have the power in Ottawa, in Saskatchewan and Alberta to live in accordance with our values. We're never going to have it. The only way we're going to have that is to go off on our own. And that's the way I'm thinking these days. Globalism is destroying our quality of life. And with robotics coming, we don't need all of these immigrants. What we need is to retrain and focus on evolving our population into the new realities of coming years. We can still play ball, but we don't have to play in their court. I have to think with all the resources we have, we'll be fine. Absolutely. We need to move out of this dependent position. And I think Alberta and Saskatchewan are absolutely tired that we are being held captive by a future that isn't even being discussed. Not one politician is talking about Agenda 2030. Yet, this is the entire direction in which we're going. The way this whole COVID-19 was handled by you-know-who would never have happened in the past. In fact, we wouldn't be sitting here waiting for all hell to break loose if it was done with national interest in mind. If our country was speaking for itself instead of letting you-know-who speak for us. This is not the course for Canada. And I don't know that we could influence enough of Canada to make a difference, and we don't have time for that. Which is why I think that Alberta and Saskatchewan should look at coming together. I really do. We're so similar. And we could sustain ourselves. If sustainability was truly the goal here, we could sustain ourselves quite well in the future. We don't need smart cities. We don't need mass migration. That's the global model. Do we want this? Really? Do you want to never be able to own a home or own an apartment? Do you want to be under mass surveillance? Do you want to leave this earth knowing that it will never be free again? Because it won't. Our freedoms are being stamped out, chipped away bit by bit by bit. And the youth doesn't even know it's happening. We're the only ones who can call this. And we need to start stepping up to the plate. I never thought for a million years I would be saying this, but I feel like I'm jumping to the plate. There are solutions. There's many solutions, but not if we're always talking about a global model. I think we need to open this discussion to discuss what's truly important to Canadians. Because it's clear we've been excluded from the discussion of Agenda 2030. We have been. The corporations are speaking. The new sustainability of the future is going to be all about them. It's not about you. And it's not about your kids. I think us Canadians value freedom above anything else. We really do. And we've taken it for granted. We have. Because we grew up with it. And we need to really start talking about this again with our friends, with our family. I don't care if they don't want to hear about it. It's time they talk. We have a choice right now. But I can guarantee you we're not going to in the future. It's not going to happen. And we cannot wait another 3 years. We need to start taking some action now and remove ourselves from a playbook that wasn't designed for us. In any case, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would love to have you, of course, and Facebook and Instagram. And think about what's happening now, because I think we have an amazing future, but not in this direction. It's time to bring it back, level the playing field, and stop accepting crumbs, because we're better than that and we deserve more.